everybody, I'm Rebecca Seto, and this is my sustainable business profile and evaluation of Starbucks. I chose Starbucks because I knew that they were making environmental efforts and they're a very popular company. During this presentation, we'll be going over what Starbucks is doing for the environment, the community, and along with a financial analysis of how they are doing overall as a company. So an overview of Starbucks. So what is Starbucks? It was first created in 1971. It was just a little store in Seattle at the historic Pike Palace Market where they roasted and sold whole bean and ground coffee, teas, and spices. In 1981, Howard Schultz, who served as the Starbucks chairman and chief executive officer up until 2017, he joined the Starbucks team after he tasted Starbucks and realized how good the coffee was. So 2 years after he was in the company, he went on a trip to Italy and he fell in love with coffee and the deep meaning behind coffee. The meaning he found behind coffee was a strong love and sense of connection, and he really liked the idea that coffee brought people together. So when he came back to the United States, he really wanted to bring to Starbucks what he thought would help them grow and basically become what they are now. So now they're known for a place of conversation, a sense of community, and really for a lot of people, it's a third place between work and home. So that is where the Starbucks mission statement comes from, which is one mission. Our mission is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Last updated in 2020, Starbucks had over 32,000 stores spread across the world. They are a global company. Starbucks believes that a cup of coffee can change a person's day, and I know many people who would also say the same thing. As you may already know, as you can already tell, Starbucks is a very ethically based company, and they work hard to show their commitment to the community and their customers. So here are some of their core values that they follow to run their company. They want to create a welcoming place for people. That's where the sense of connection comes through. And they also like to hold themselves accountable for their actions. They want to always find more ways to grow their company, and they are constantly trying to become better and present and respectful. Starbucks is very big into corporate responsibility. They will hire anyone, no matter things such as race, sex, religion, disabilities, and they are really big right now on hiring youth, refugees, veterans, military spouses, anyone who has a hard time getting a job. They do like to try and help you out. They also are trying to lessen their environmental footprint by becoming more sustainable and making more sustainable coffee. They started that in 2004, and they are constantly trying to give back to the community, and they are always investing money into things such as farmer loans, emergency relief funds, and they also plant a lot of trees to try and help have more trees around the world, because deforestation is a huge problem. They believe that the people are most valuable. They really value their customers, and they're always looking for new opportunities for their employees, such as offering college for employees or offering training. Any training that you need for a job, they will help you get. With that being said, Starbucks is working on their environmental impact. They realize that they don't have much time to start making a difference, so they set target goals for them to accomplish by 2030. Some of the goals being that they want to reduce their carbon emission by 50% and try to conserve the water that they are using. They also are trying to reduce their waste by 50%. According to the Chief Executive Officer, Kevin Johnson, they are giving more than they take from the planet. He says our aspiration is to become resource positive, storing more carbon than we emit, and eliminating waste and providing more clean, fresh water than we use. Their environmental changes really start at the beginning of the coffee process where the coffee beans are grown. They have agronomist people who are people who they're experts in soil management and crop production. They're on the grounds where the coffee beans are planted, and they're seeing changes in the beans' growth, and they concluded that it was from climate change. They noticed things like more bugs, more erosion, also the rainfall and the harvest seasons are changing, and the changing of the climate is also hurting their communities and creating less room to even have a place to grow the coffee beans. Starbucks has partnered with a conservation in internationals to start creating more ethically sourced coffee beans, and together they created Cafe, which is coffee and farmer equity. With these practices, Starbucks now sources 99% of their coffee ethically, and they have a goal to make the coffee the world's first sustainable agricultural product in the world. In order to reach their goals by 2030, Starbucks is making a few changes to their existing stores and new construction stores. They are building all new stores with LEED standards, and they announced in 2018 that they are going to be designing, building, and opening up 10,000 stores that were going to be ran greener than all of their current stores, and also making a bunch of upgrades to any current stores. Also in 2018, they were in the process of becoming the largest purchaser for renewable energy sectors, and they committed over $140 million to renewable energy. They also partnered with RE100 and corporate renewable energy buyers principles to help track their greenhouse gas emissions, which they track every year during a yearly inventory of greenhouse gas emissions. Starbucks will save about $50 million in utility costs over the next 10 years because of their environmental changes and the efforts they are putting in to make their buildings more environmental friendly. And from the renewable energy and all the renewable energy efforts, they will save around $30 million in operating costs. They will be saving about $100 billion from getting rid of their plastic straws to help eliminate waste. I know they put out Save the Ocean things a few years ago. They also have spent $230 million on sustainable packaging, and they have put $144 million on building their all of their new stores that they promised to build. They also are investing more than $46 million into farmer loans in order to help farmers in need. And in March of 2017, they gave $763 million in a global sustainability bond, which helped with positive social and environmental impact of the coffee supply chain. Looking at the financial side of the company, we're going to base most of the information from 2019. Since 2020, we were all in the middle of a global pandemic, and a lot of businesses suffered, including Starbucks. They did suffer from the pandemic. In 2019, Starbucks ranked second in restaurant sales, just under McDonald's, and Starbucks accounted for total assets of approximately $19.22 billion in 2019. And also store sales were up 5% and net revenues were up 7%, and they also returned $12.2 billion to shareholders, all in 2019. At the end of that year, Starbucks had over $11.17 billion in long-term debt and had operating leases for about $9 billion. The operating margin ratio was pretty high. It was sitting at 15.4%. when the average is 5 or less percent. And the debt to equity ratio, which shows like the company's leverage versus risk, was at 58.1%, and they spent a total of $22,729 on their operating expenses of 2019 and also 2020. Overall, Starbucks is a very popular company. Most of the time, they are making top charts, such as being top 5 on the Fortune's most admirable companies for 16 years in a row. They also, many people go to Starbucks. It's a lot of people's daily stop for their daily coffee, daily drinks, and they are a pretty successful company. They're making a lot of good changes when it comes to the environment, and they're always looking out for ways to help the community and the people around them. Um, Financially, they may be in debt, and some of their numbers might be bad, but they are really good at budgeting, and they're still bringing in a lot of money. Here are my resources. All right, and thank you for your time.